Oh, yeah. Good old Link Ray. This is the only song to have ever been banned. The only instrumental to have ever been banned on the radio. Yeah. This means I don't get monetized for this one, folks. That's right, I had the audacity to play some music. Considered to be one of the founders of rock and roll, the man who invented the power chord. Which he is using right here, too, I believe. Actually, he's using what's kind of known as the Chuck Berry chord right there.
These are the 9-inch Guggenheim Professional Tailor Shears.
But I'd like to show you how good they are.
Let's turn it over to some fellows who've made real good music during the past year or so. They've had one very big hit record gone by, a thing called Rumble, and they're working on another. This is one of the biggest instrumentals of the day. It's called Rawhide. Let's...
Okay, here he is. Let's welcome Link Ray. Okay, here he is. Let's welcome Link Ray. Okay, here he is. Let's...
Whew. Oh boy, I'm about to fall over here. Whew. Okay. All right. Emily, former contributor. All right. I want to watch some stuff, but okay. Sometimes seems to have taken over your entire conversation about autism in this country. What with their blue puzzle pieces littered all over the landscape. I want to see who this person is. Interesting.
And I can be so
Gross,
well.
creepy,
What?
ugly,
Hey,
disgusting.
well, sure, but more importantly, the point is I can help. I'm in your corner.
I don't want you in my corner.
And I can be the worst, no the best, no the worst. We can be a team like the world.
Okay.
Four different reasons why Autism Speaks is bad, according to Autism.
I just received a message on Instagram telling me that Autism Speaks are using my content on their platform. I am trying to locate the content they have used. I haven't been able to so far. We'll see. But if anyone comes across the post before I do, I just wanted to say that if they have used anything of mine on their platform, I did not give them permission to, and I do not support what Autism Speaks stands for. Do I believe that raising a neurodivergent child can be difficult? Absolutely. And do I think that families should receive adequate and effective support in raising those children? 100%. For the record, I am not diagnosed with autism, although I do believe that I am probably autistic. But I firmly believe that if your autism advocacy is centered around the well-being of neurotypical people, you're doing it wrong. Autistic people should not be cured for the benefit of the neurotypicals around them. And autistic people should not have to apologize for being born into a world that wasn't built for them. Also, I think it's highly ironic that Autism Speaks is called Autism Speaks when they very, very rarely actually give voices to...
Interesting, interesting. I'm trying to find some actual content here. Something I can actually
Ever since I was
non-speaking autism. I'm trying to find some stuff here on Autism Speaks, whatever it be. Okay, this was kind of interesting. When was this? This is last year. No, 2021. Okay, forget that. YouTube. Why I'm against Autism Speaks. I have not seen this one, I don't think.
Autism Speaks is the most offensive organization out there to autistic people. If you participate in their lighted up blue puzzle piece garbage, you are not supporting autistic people. And I'll tell you why. Autism Speaks uses fear, stigma, and ableism to make autism look like a fate worse than death. Autism Speaks dehumanizes autistic people. How would you feel about someone saying they would rather have a dead child than someone like you? Autism Speaks says, I'm a burden. Autism Speaks says, I am an epidemic. Autism Speaks calls me broken and in need of curing. Autism Speaks wants to prevent people like me from being born. Autism Speaks promotes therapies that are damaging and traumatic for the sake of making people like me look normal.
She's speaking about ABA specifically.
Autism Speaks sympathizes with the parents who murder their autistic children. Autism Speaks doesn't have a single autistic person on their staff.
As of now, they do. This was made in, 21? I think. Oh, 2015. They do have one person now. That's Eileen Lamb.
Only 4% of the money Autism Speaks makes goes...
And Eileen Lamb, I call her Token, because she's the token autistic person. She's their media person. There she is right here. That's Token. So when when I talk about Token, she's the token autistic person. The funny thing here is this. As I understand it, there's 216 people at Autism Speaks. So if you were to take a random sample of 216 people, no matter what, anywhere in the world, wherever you took this random sample of 216 people, you would have at least 2 autistic people. So at an organization called Autism Speaks, we have less autistic people than in any random sample anywhere in the world of people. I just think that's just amazing.
to help families. The rest, it's spent on eugenics and research. Do I look like a diseased...
Well, I think, okay, now I understand the CEO of Autism Speaks Canada. She might actually be autistic. So she's Token Canada and Eileen Lamb is Token USA. Which just sounds even funnier to me, Token USA.
You. Do I...
like a pageant or something. And I'm Token USA. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry.
I look like I need to be fixed or cured. I wish I was joking, but Google the terms Autism Speaks controversy and you'll see the truth. Autism Speaks does not speak for autistic people. Autism Speaks is a bully. I don't like bullies. You're much better off supporting the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, or ASAN. They have autistic people on staff, and they know what they're talking about. Nothing about us without us.
And you wonder why Autism Speaks never mentions actually autistic people. Why don't you go to the actually autistic community? Yeah, Autism Speaks sent me here. What?
If you want to use a color to support autistic people, use red. The Walk in Red movement is a counterpoint to the offensive Light It Up Blue.
And this is the funny thing. How many, counter Shriner movements are there? Counter St. Jude's. Even if you're not a religious, how many counter St. Jude movements are there? Or counter Children's Hospital movements are there? Those darn Shriners working on those burn victims. How could you? Bad Shriners. Urgh. I'm so anti-March of Dimes. Those darn March of Dimers. Really? But so, it's just ridiculous even thinking about it. Yet here's Autism Speaks is supposed to represent autistic people, yet autistic people have come up with their own counter movement to the Lighted Up Blue. Oh my goodness. And the Lighted Up Blue, I've got lots of bookmarks. That came from Miss Wright here.
Joining us are Bob and Suzanne Wright.
Suzanne Wright right here. And she talks about the Lighted Up Blue. This is one of the most amazing interviews. We'll go over here in a little bit. Let this lady here finish this out.
Autistic people support this by wearing red to promote autism acceptance, which is much better than simple awareness. Wearing red in April shows you see autistic people as humans who are wired differently, rather than as diseases who need a cure.
As I call it, a lot of us have different hair colors or a different skin tone or whatever. We've got a different brain tone. our instead of our skin or hair color looking different, our brain looks different. It is different. It's just a different brain tone, different brain type.
Cancer is something that needs curing. Autism is not. I'm not broken or made wrong. I'm not a disease or an epidemic. I don't accept the notion that I have to remove a vital part of my identity to fit in. Temple Grandin, one of the most famous autistic people out there, has a quote, "I am different, not less." I want to take the quote a step further. I am not a puzzle piece. I am Cindy. I am different, not less.
Wow. That was like, whew. That was a slam dunk. I am never going to debate this person right here at all, ever, ever, ever. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to happen. I will just bow out and walk out on that one. That was great. Oh my goodness gracious. That was amazing. Elise from Cody Speaks? Don't know what that is. I'm trying to find some Autism Speaks things, and what's really great is I thought there was going to be so much more in the news and so forth. And even if you look, like, we'll say last week, there's not a lot of new stories. So this is wow, is that interesting? I don't know. I don't know who this is. I don't think that's Susan. I don't think that's his wife. Could it be? Maybe it is. I don't know. Heck, I don't know. Yeah, it says. Oh my goodness, she lost a lot of weight. Oh, she passed. She passed. I think she got pancreatic cancer. So she must have been really, really ill to lose all that weight like that. That's kind of sad. And just the irony that she compared autism to cancer, and he did specifically. Actually, he does right here in this film right, that film right there. Okay, let's see if there's any new videos, maybe. Okay, they're really pushing this thing now. And I think this is on the Autism Speaks
Only
channel.
1 in 5 people with disabilities, including those with autism, are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Nice white background, since, you know, their Autism Speaks, and they don't know that white backgrounds, you know, bright lights tend to hurt autistic people's eyes.
Why? Outdated stigmas and beliefs. So let us make it easy. This is a job for someone with autism. This is a job for someone with autism. So is this. That job? Also perfect. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes overlook the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We bridge the gap and help businesses.
It always goes back to Autism Speaks. That's always the rule of thumb. It always goes back to Autism Speaks.
Lead the way in inclusive hiring. Yes.
They never mention autistic people or qualify autistic people is being authorities about themselves or being able to represent themselves or anything else.
These are all jobs for someone with autism. To learn more and lead the way in inclusive hiring, go to autismspeaks.org/win. Yep.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. It
Only
is a
1 in
demeaning.
5 people with disabilities, including those with autism, are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work. Why? Outdated stigmas and beliefs. So let us make it easy. This is a job for someone with autism. This is a job for someone with autism. So is this. That job? Also perfect. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes overlook the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We bridge the gap and help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring. Yes. These are all.
So I would say, I guess, for what this is,
jobs for someone with autism.
Oh my goodness, that's not a cowgirl. What the? I don't know what this is. Oh, this is Beyonce. This is that new Beyonce dance thing going on, right? Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I actually I was a boxer one time. Not this kind. It was I taped boxes. That was that's literally what it was. Except for I had to load. I guess it was about I can't remember 8 ton a day of pallets and stuff of I had to box all these they were road markers and stuff, box them up and then load them pallets and stuff. It was about 8 ton a day. Man, I was a strong little son of a buck then.
To learn more and lead the way in inclusive hiring, go to autismspeaks.org/win. Yep, that job too.
Okay. Autism Speaks PSAs. I don't know what this is. They're all really short. We can always go to Autism Speaks for entertainment. That's always the best.
The Autism Care Network is built to support people with autism and their families on their autism journey. We help get the right care to the right person at the right time.
When my son was not sleeping, it was hard on him and it was hard on all of us. Our provider knew from the network's research that sleep is a challenge for a lot of autistic children. He was able to give us
I just want to see if they're trying to take credit here.
tools that we needed to help him get better sleep. But he's not only sleeping better, he's also more happy, calm, and healthy. Overall, we see an improvement in families' quality of life, and it has a ripple effect on everything else.
Our family is part of the Autism Care Network, and our experience at our healthcare provider's office is part of an ongoing cycle of information sharing and research that turns into real-life help for families just like ours. Being a part
Yeah, that's Like, there's got to be a joke in there about like how to scare an autistic, say research or something like that. You know, how to instantly, like, how to instantly turn off a autistic research. Hey. Oh no.
Part of this network, we not only get our son the care he needs when he needs it, but we help other families to get the quality care they need too.
As a network, we all are connected to each other. We work together, we solve problems, and we create resources to support our patients right where they live. One of my favorite stories about serving in patients through the Autism Care Network is when one of my own patients at the University of Missouri was moving across the country and asked me who they could go to who could continue their autism care. I was able to directly inform them of who to go to and how to access that care in their new home and new location.
As a provider in the Autism Care Network, my work caring for my patients becomes part of the collective understanding of who needs solutions for which health issues and what treatments are going to help them reach their full potential.
Okay, so this is supported by Autism Speaks. I have not really heard much about that. I don't think it's directly is Autism Speaks. Let's see if I can do Bob and Suzanne Wright and see what happens. Okay, cool. We might have some really nice juicy stuff here. So let's see what we got.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older.
This is weird though. Okay.
I understand that what is out there now, though, in terms of our cameras on you, Suzanne. So with regard to the testing, it begins at about 16 months. This is going to help push it back to about 12 months of age to get legitimate good testing.
Yes.
How is that 4 months going to make a difference?
It has been proven the early intervention is your best effective weapon against autism. It has been proven that 50% of the children that get this early intervention, the earlier the better.
She's gonna basically say that don't develop autism or something like that.
Are mainstreamed into public school.
And Bob, with regard to the symptoms, what are things people ought to look out for?
And I don't like the word symptoms, and I think that they should have corrected this lady and said traits. But they think of autism as a disease. These are the founders of Autism Speaks right here. Bob and Suzanne Wright.
In their own children, as they see them progressing, the things that say to you something is wrong.
Well, it's communication. It's the inability to speak, or if you lose speech, the inability to communicate, to focus. Children tend to drift off. They become self-absorbed in other activities. It's very noticeable. When our grandson was not diagnosed early enough, and even though he was seeing a good pediatric group, they just kept pushing him off and saying, well, this is just one of those things that happens to boys. Well, that one of those things is now it's a major. His life has changed dramatically as a result of this.
There?
And Suzanne, is there a difference in terms of the numbers of little boys that are affected by autism versus little girls? So it does predominantly strike boys more?
Oh yes, this is 4 to 1. This is 1 in 104 boys.
1 in 104 boys.
1 in 104 boys are affected by autism. We had a beautifully developing little boy. He lost his speech, he lost his potty training, and he was diagnosed with autism, I would say 7 months too late.
But did you...
7 months too late? Like what?
As a grandmother, when you went over that precious grandson of yours, could you tell there was something wrong? Was he not doing the babbling, the speak?
No, he spoke. He had a fabulous vocabulary. I mean, he would run into my arms and say, Mama, I love you. We would go down. He would name all the trucks. We'd go to the fire department, police department. I mean, he was extremely verbal. And in a period of 2 months, kept losing his vocabulary. And the excuse was because a baby had just been born and they had moved, and that he was a boy. Well, on the day of the autism epidemic, that's not allowed.
Autism epidemic. She always categorizes it as an epidemic. Now, I looked it up in the different definitions and so forth. Half of them categorize it as a disease. The other half categorize it as like a something that is overwhelming an area or something else, like it's taking over. So, and of course, I mean that's like way a huge exaggeration. And it also does kind of characterize it as a disease. Even if you take it away the disease part, if you say that it's taking over, then there's the characterization there.
And Bob, with regard to Autism Speaks, which you and Suzanne launched about 2 hours ago, how pleased are you with its progress? 2 years ago. It's been a really packed 2 hours, huh? But 2 years ago. How pleased are you with the progress, Bob?
Well, I mean, this is not something we wanted to do. We were drafted into this event. It's been a great out. It's when you
didn't want to do this.
Go and explain to people that this is the most significant childhood.
And see, this is what bothers me about the whole context of this. Notice there's no autistic people here. They've never said any. These guys have never said, you know, the best people to talk to are autistic people. They have these life experiences. Many of them have autistic parents, are autistic themselves, maybe are autistic parents themselves, have autistic grandchildren, what have you. We have multi-generational layers of experience. In some of these families, we may have 150 years, you know, experience in just one small group. And there's no qualification of autistic people understanding themselves or being able to speak for themselves. It's just this pious, we are the source. We are Autism Speaks. We are the source for autistic people even. It just, the whole attitude is just so bigoted.
Developmental disorder in the nation, that it's more prevalent than most all of the diseases that we know that children can get combined. People stand up and they listen and they say, I can't believe it, I didn't understand that. And then when they find out exactly what it does and how it works, they want to do something. So that's what we've mobilized.
And they want to do something. So we're like, hey, that's a money-making opportunity right there.
Started out, though, with the enormous support of Bernie Marcus, the co-founder of Home Depot, who'd been working in this area for 10 years. And he came to me and he said, if you're going to do something, I'm going to help you. I'm going to tell you about all my experiences, and we're going to have to really create some awareness. And that's what we've done, and that's why we've been...
I think he is still a board member to this day, by the way.
You know, able to do as much as we've been able to do.
Well, some 2 hours ago, the House is in agreement with you and your efforts. $945 million passed over 5 years. Senate takes it up tomorrow. Let's hope that you all get a early holiday.
And see how, and this reporter's just going on and not noticing any of this either. Just like talking to them like they're the authority, and then saying about all the stuff, these accomplishments, where she's wrapping it up, which is giving them name recognition and also establishing them as the authorities. When the media talk about people like this and interview anything, I don't care if it's for the local HOA group, you know, homeowners association or something. When people are interviewed like that, they're automatically qualified as being an authority, and that's why the rights really push like this, and they took that role specifically. So that when you think of autism, you think of Autism Speaks. And that means you're giving money to these people, essentially. You're giving money to fulfill these people's agenda.
Holiday gift with the president signing this legislation
That
for
would
you
be
shortly
wonderful.
thereafter.
That would be so great. Autism is speaking, and finally the world is
Hey,
listening,
Purple.
Alex.
And we would applaud all of those efforts by the president as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bob
Is that
and
what
Suzanne
this
Wright,
is? Is
tremendous ambassador.
MSNBC? Oh.
Mark Zuckerberg
Well,
just
this was
built a $100
this is a
million
long
bunker
time ago,
in
Purple.
Hawaii, but he's only one of the 15.
This is 17 years ago, believe it or not. This is when they were first getting this up, because they started it in 2005. So this is right at the baby. The founder of Home Depot, he gave them $25 million to start out with. Are they now? She passed. She got pancreatic cancer and passed from that. And I certainly don't wish her any ill will, or that's just not cool. Anyway, so that's Suzanne, and this is Bob, right? And this is a dude holding a ion microphone.
Hey guys, we're here at Autism Speaks on the blue carpet with Bob and Suzanne Wright. They're the founders of Autism Speaks. So thrilled to talk to you guys tonight. So tell us.
And see how, okay, and right there. Now we got this blue puzzle piece here, and we've established them. They've got the puzzle piece, all these puzzle pieces here. He's so excited to talk to the founders of Autism. Okay, see how this is just qualifying these people as experts. Yet we're really not talking about and or addressing autistic people. And they are not going to do that. They're going to assume that authority role here. And they are going to perpetuate it. They relish
what are you guys
it.
excited about tonight?
Well, I'm so excited. This is our 10th anniversary celebration. It's hard to believe.
Me. Our 10th anniversary.
That 10 years ago, here Bob was running NBC Universal, and we knew nothing about autism. Autism really wasn't in the vocabulary.
She always has to mention what he was doing, so she's very, she's basically talking him out. And I guess I would be proud of that too, you know. I'm just saying, she does mention that every time, it seems, or a lot of the times. She also wears a lot of absolutely freaking amazingly beautiful, expensive jewelry.
Not only of the nation, but
the my wife likes to go to the jewelry store and so forth, and I guarantee you, this thing, right, minimum 10,000, guarantee you.
world, and now it is in the vocabulary in the world and in the nation. So we're thrilled. He's done a great job.
Brandon Burgess and I were
Burgess,
working on acquisitions, and I was working on autism on the side, and that goes back 11 years ago. So this is a big night for us, and especially we have a lot of strength in our organization out here in California. We have 400,000 people who work for us in the United States.
We.
And this is a very large group. So this is a real celebration here. And I hope it can be done every year because we do this sort of thing in New York as well. So it's a very important. Fundraising is paramount, and we've raised in the 10 years.
See how they're qualifying autistic people and how they're not taking that role of being the authorities here. They're not doing that at all.
Almost $600 million.
That is so impressive, and it's so awesome that you guys are doing it for such a good cause. Yeah. And it's crazy to see how far you've come. I mean, look at everyone involved tonight. It's just so amazing.
What I'm most wonderful, amazed, and so in awe of is Google. Google is now our partner in the Missing Project. So with Google, we were there the other day. We're going.
And they did have some kind of partnership with Google. I don't know if that still exists. Now, I will say this. They do not list Google as a partner right now as far as donations and their oh, holy hell, some people, okay, darn it, I was like, I was thinking that some people had pulled out. I think some people have pulled out. Purple. I'm going to have to look at yes. I think some have pulled out here recently. I'm going to have to look at my footage, but I thought there was another whole row here. I'm trying to remember who. I know Wilson, Costco, but Costco was like down here. Samsung was too. Chuck E. Cheese just got on board. This Green Source, I think they're a smaller company. And like these Rivers Casinos, they're a wealthy company. I don't know how large they are, so to speak. United Real Estate and Invesco. I think that's the same as like Invesco Field here in Colorado. Okay, you may be right, Purple. They may have no, I'm serious. I'm pretty sure this is a lot shorter. I'm gonna look at my back stream. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought they had at least another row here. Because I know they have changed their wording, Sam, and I'm not kidding you. I know they've changed their wording here. Because like here it says some autistic people can speak. When I started doing this at the beginning, it always said some people with autism can speak or whatever. They never ever use this identity first language at all until it was like the 30th, the 31st of March, right before April here. I know this because I've been on this site for, gosh, 3 weeks now. Every day. I just want to note, Sam, the nice white page, because Autism Speaks does not realize that autistic people have light sensitivities, evidently. You would think since 2005, that's, well, almost 20 years now, that they would have, like, somebody would have, like, you know, one of those autistic people, like Token here. Like Token. You know about Token, right, Sam? Yeah, Token is, this is their token autistic person out of the 216 people. I was talking earlier. If you take 200 people out of any random group of people in the world, you're likely to get 2 autistic people. But Token, as far as I know right now, is the only actually autistic person that works for Autism Speaks out of 216. Thus, Autism Speaks has less autistic people working for it than you would get out of any random group of people anywhere in the world. In other words, in any random group of any people in the world, you would have more autistic people than works at Autism Speaks. Just a little odd. Another thing I found out here recently, is it helping him? Statistics and facts. Is that what it is? The new thing I found here was trying to remember. Oh, I think it was like puzzle. Puzzle piece logo. This is where it gets really crazy. All right. Yeah. Well, okay, I have everything on dark, but I leave Autism Speaks. I can, like, this is dark and everything. I leave Autism Speaks white so everybody can see how rude they are. Okay, Purple Sam, you ready for this? I don't know if you've seen this yet, Sam. I don't think you've seen this yet, Purple, either. Okay. This is them talking about the puzzle piece. When they changed it, they changed it to this rainbow thing because people were complaining about the puzzle piece. Well, they were complaining. Now, Miss Wright, Suzanne Wright, she designed the puzzle piece, the blue puzzle piece. So they changed it to this rainbow thing. Now, a lot of actually autistic people were saying, yeah, but it's still this puzzle piece. So this is their response. The puzzle piece, with its current spectrum of colors, is meant to be representative of the spectrum of perspectives and experiences autistic people may have. We believe, Autism Speaks believes that our updated, more colorful puzzle piece represents inclusivity and optimism. As we look forward towards a future of progress for those third person on the autism spectrum. In other words, if I read this correctly, we believe that our updated, more colorful puzzle piece represents inclusivity and optimism as we look towards a future of progress for those on the autism spectrum. In other words, well, we think it's okay, and we don't care what those on the autism spectrum, think. We have made our own decision. Well, yeah, it's not really rainbow, but that's what they call it. So am I reading this wrong here? Am I like totally like off? And then this is just like another little. We support the community no matter what color they decide best represents their position on the spectrum. And so they're trying to make it about the color. Yeah. Sounds like we've made the puzzle piece louder and more elaborate. Happy now? And see, this is the thing. When Eileen Lamb and on the YouTube, on their YouTube site, she is talking about this, and she is trying to make it about she's like, oh, is it because we think that people are broken? We don't think people are broken. And that was kind of part of it, but it was also that we were a puzzle to be solved or whatever. But you know what? It's not that. And she's trying to make it about those little, well, they're just picking at little unimportant things. No, it's the fact that they have this attitude right here that they knew that the puzzle piece itself was offensive to the autistic community. However, and they admit it right here, they didn't care. We believe that our updated, more colorful puzzle piece represents inclusivity and optimism as we look towards a future of progress for those on the autism spectrum. So we don't care what you think. We're doing this for you anyway because you're not smart enough or you're not capable or whatever. I mean, that's the impression that they're giving here. See, that's definitely the impression that they give me. And here, okay, here. And this is interesting because right here, I can prove this, and I've got this already queued up. I'm starting to like be an expert at this stuff.
Joining us are Bob and Suzanne Wright of Autism Speaks. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay,
it's
right
great
here.
to see you today.
And that we wanted to shine a bright spot.
Okay, listen to what she says here. Really careful. Now, she's talking more specifically about the lighted up blue, but you have to understand she designed the puzzle piece. Now she's pushing the lighted up blue. So,
of Bangladesh. I mean, the CN Tower in Toronto. We decided to go blue because this is our color, because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls. And
we decided to go blue because this is our color, the blue puzzle piece, because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls. Okay?
My name is Eileen Lam, and I'm... My name is Eileen Lamb, influencer, published author, and autistic mother of 3, with 2 boys.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Purple.
On the spectrum.
Let's see.
You're watching Mind Your Misconceptions. Mind Your Misconceptions is a show where I will personally address common misconceptions.
And see, what I would do is, if I was them, if you really want to get the autism community, you say, gosh, you know what? We want we want to have a better symbol. What does the autistic community want? The actually autistic community. Bam. And have a vote there. Even if you made the shit up, it would make you look good. You could like make up your own damn thing, and this is horrible. I'm just saying that this is how their minds work. You know, neurotypical people's minds work. They could design anything they wanted to and just blow it off. You see, I learned a lot about sales when I was very young, and I of course knew about cults and the manipulation of the mind and behavioral science and so forth and psychology. And so I learned about that stuff very, very young. And so I began, particularly with seeing my father around the corporate executives and so forth and their type of mentalities. That's how they think. I'm not characterizing it as good or right, but it's just how it is. But let's okay, we're going to talk about she's going to talk about the piece, the puzzle piece. I'm going to go right to it here.
Opposite. Another misconception about Autism Speaks is that we believe autistic people are missing a piece. I think this comes from the fact that we use the puzzle piece logo, and some people interpreted the puzzle piece logo to mean that autistic people...
Okay, what's this fallacy called, Purple? Where you basically equivocate two things that that aren't really, that don't aren't applicable necessarily, or you try to minimize.
Are missing a piece. That's not at all what we mean. The puzzle piece logo was originally designed for autism, to raise autism awareness in the UK in 1963. On that image, there was the picture of a child crying, which gave the puzzle piece a negative connotation. And I think that's where the misconception about the puzzle piece started from. But in the US...
Wait a minute, what was that?
Child crying, which gave the puzzle piece a negative connotation. And I think that's where the misconception about the puzzle piece started from. But in the US, it was only at the end of the 1990s that the puzzle piece was used for autism awareness. And a fact that a lot of people don't know about is that in the room, when the puzzle piece was chosen to represent autism, there was an autistic person there.
Okay, did you catch that? There was like a janitor. The janitor was over cleaning up the trash, you know, emptying out the trash or whatever. And they happened to be autistic when these executives were making these decisions. So here's what she has to say.
Of the 1990s, that the puzzle piece was used for
equivocation, that fallacy. Thank you.
And a fact that a lot of people don't know about is that in the room, when the puzzle piece was chosen to represent autism, there was an autistic person there. A lot of people do not know that cool fact about the puzzle piece. And I don't think an autistic person would have chosen the logo to mean that autistic people are missing a piece.
Well, they didn't say that they were even involved in it. But what she says here about the blue, listen.
Missing a piece. I think this comes from the fact that we used the puzzle piece logo, and some people interpreted the puzzle piece logo to mean that autistic people are missing a piece. That's not at all what we mean. The puzzle piece logo was originally designed for autism, to raise autism awareness in the UK in 1963. On that image, there was the picture of a child crying, which gave the puzzle piece a negative
Maybe she didn't talk about the blue on
and
this
I think that's where the misconception about the puzzle piece started from. But in the US, it was only at the end of the 1990s that the puzzle piece was used for autism awareness. And a fact that a lot of people don't know about is that in the room, when the puzzle piece was chosen to represent
I
autism.
hate
There
it.
was an autistic person there. A
I
lot
hate
of
it when it
people
does
do not
this.
know that cool fact about the
Thank you. I kept on rolling there. I'm trying to find, because it was on Autism Speaks where she addresses this this blue thing specifically. And I hate it when it tries to like fill in for me. It just annoys me. Annoys me. That's a real word, by the way. Annoys.
We wanted help, but
Ow,
we just didn't know.
ow, ow. That was so loud. Okay. Where is it? Was it I undermined your misconceptions? Was that it, maybe? Okay, here we go.
My name
Here's
is
where she
Aina.
conflates things and really
address common misconception about Autism Speaks. I'm not here. Another
Okay, check this out. Now remember what she said here. In this
Joining us are Bob and Suzanne
thing
Wright
right
of
here.
Autism Speaks. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to see you today.
CN Tower in Toronto. We decided to go blue because this is our color, because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls.
This is our color because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls.
big misconception is that Autism Speaks believe autism only affects boys. Autism Speaks does not believe autism only affects boys. I think this misconception comes from the fact that in 2005, we chose the color blue, and blue is often associated with boys. But that's not why we chose it.
And it's often associated with boys, but that's not why we chose it.
We decided to go blue because this is our color, because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls.
But that's not why we chose it, and we do not. But that's not why we chose it. And blue is often associated with boys. But that's not why we chose it. And
Color, because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls. And that...
What?
I mean, the CN Tower in Toronto.
I'm having
we
way too
decided
much
to go
fun.
blue because this is our color, because it's 4-to-1 boys to girls.
This is now this is Miss Wright. This is the founder. And so when you listen to how these people talk, it really does give you their mindset, and in just these interviews gives you their mindset.
Find the missing pieces of the puzzle of autism. And if anybody can do this, it's Google. Right, Bob?
Yes, right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's so true. I mean, you guys.
Now, Purple was saying that Google, and Purple's pretty darn knowledgeable, was saying that, and Purple's on YouTube right now, and I'm going to be moving over to YouTube. But Purple was saying that Google got rid of their association with Autism Speaks, and I have never seen Google. I don't remember Google ever putting anything up about Autism Speaks, and you would think they would.
You really got that one. So, of course, you can't have you go without talking about the food tonight. You guys are foodies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. We started this about 10 years ago in New York, and we were so amazed that LA has never done this. My guess is that
Yeah.
after tonight, a lot of charity's going to say, we got to do a chef's gala.
The stars of tonight will be the chefs.
Yes.
Every table has a individual chef representing.
I think I need to make a video to put on TikTok where it just flips back and forth between those two, saying different things. There, I think that was just kind of hilarious.
His or her restaurant and his or her cuisine, and so every meal is different, and people will get really involved with the chef and with the meal, and it's a wonderful.
Oh, Sam, did you see today that that Autism Speaks admitted that they knew that I wanted to interview them? And basically, in one, they responded to one of my videos. I think you actually put one like at Autism Speaks on it, but they responded that I had not responded to their email for a roundtable meeting or something like that. And I was like, well, kinda, at least, you know. He didn't say anything about that. He just asked what autistic people wanted. Anyway, so I reiterated. I was like, okay, cool. Then if that's the case, if you didn't hear from me, then you can hear from me now. Yeah, I want to do an interview, and I want to do it publicly, not behind closed doors or through emails or anything like that. I want to do a live stream and get everything out there. And but the only reason they replied in that way is because they're not gonna what's the word, acquiesce.
It really sounds like it. Thank you guys so much for talking to us. You guys have a great night tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna find another one.
The founders of Autism Speaks, Suzanne and Bob Wright.
Thank you so much, Mary. And good morning, DC. We are here. And what a great pleasure it is to be here. You didn't hear from Laura yet. You will hear shortly. The time
What's trending super lightly?
for our national plan is now. Our families with autism have been suffering long enough. Our families need our help now. We have been paving the road for 8 years, and with each cobblestone we lay down, another family's haunting stories pops up.
Another family's haunting stories pop out.
The Roykos who lost their home. We've met parents who have eaten through their 401ks, and
We've met parents who have eaten through their 401ks. And notice how this is from the poor parents, the poor family's perspective. This organization is not called Autism Parent Speaks. And if it was called Autism Parent Speaks, that would be an entirely different story. Because everyone would understand that it's not about autistic people. It's about autistic parents speaking. But instead, they speak instead of autistic people, even though they claim and they say on their website that they speak for autistic people. They speak instead of autistic people.
every asset to pay for treatments for their children. We met families who had to move away from their families.
We met families that had to move away from their families. And actually, I know some people. A lady. She used to be called our landing crew. I don't know if she still is, but I can't remember where she moved. But she moved to about I bet you I could probably meet up with her probably in 40 minutes, easy. And that would be with me doing about 40 minutes of driving. She's real close now because she's up in the Springs now. So she did move to Colorado because it was a little bit easier.
Get better treatment for their children. We met moms and dads who survive on coffee and sugar to make up for their lack of sleep.
Who survive on coffee and sugar to make up for their lack of sleep. You know what? I bet you the autistic people might be narcoleptic like me. Or they might have RLS like me. There's all kinds of sleep disorders and things they could have.
Sometimes their sons and daughters with autism aren't sleeping
With autism because it's a disease.
at all. Sometimes they are working 2 and 3 jobs. Often they are fragile. They are not living, they are existing.
Hey, Purple, do you remember when you first met me and I could not do a commentary like this right off the bat? And I'm really surprised. All those years of doing those videos, I think it's really it's really showing here. What do you think?
Hour by hour, day by day. They worry about their son and daughter, what they might do the next moment. They are petrified to even think about their futures.
They are petrified about their future.
They feel alone.
They feel alone.
But they are not. There are at least 3 million American families doing.
And now it's going to circle back to Autism Speaks. Remember, it always circles back to Autism Speaks. We are the authority. It's God. We are God. It's the equivocation here of God. And once again, when it comes to the misses, where they screw up or whatever, we don't want you to pay attention. But we, just like ABA, we want to take the credit. Like, even though the child is maturing, say, from 4 to 8, they're probably going to learn to talk no matter what, just because there's a lot more time, experience. They're going to develop skills. Whatever those skills are, if they're in ABA, we're going to attribute that to ABA. Just like we attribute good things to God when we pray. We remember when the prayers and we can kind of match our prayers up to the good things. But the bad thing we kind of disregard. Unfortunately, 99% of the time, it's not. We're not getting exactly what we're asking for.
Directly affected by autism. One of those families is my own. Mary mentioned our grandson Christian.
You're not only a victim, but I love victimization so much, I bought the company.
We started down this road for him, for our daughter Katie and our son-in-law Andreas. But soon we learned our pain was not ours alone. It was a collective pain. And at the bottom of the pain, like the seeds.
The pain, the suffering. I will never go hungry again. I am so sorry you guys had to witness that.
Sprouting is strength, real strength. Those same fragile moms and dads I told you about are...
Okay, sharpshooter fallacy. When you shoot first and then draw a bullseye around the holes you shot in the wall. From the inside of the barn.
Some of the strongest people Bob and I have ever met. They fight for their children and they do not stop.
Notice that jewelry again? I don't know why. See, that probably is gold. I'm sure that is actually gold. That's not a cheap necklace right there.
Whether their children are 3 or 33, and they amaze me.
She's wearing like a $8,000 necklace or something, and a tenth of a cent Autism Speaks pen.
My daughter Katie amazes me. In the midst of temper tantrums,
Poked through her like probably $200, $300 freaking blouse here too.
and seizures in schools and therapy.
I'm sorry, I'm crying.
Ending diarrhea, and yes, all the autism unmentionables that make us squirm in our seats. She pushes on. She reads and she questions, and she fights for her son. She finds hope. We are so lucky to have Katie join us today. I'd love to give her and all the other autism moms and dads
The autism moms, yeah. Oh, I'm okay. They say PDA autism. It's very easy to fall into a characterization. I don't believe none of that bullshit.
Thank you.
Like in Rocky Horror. Got the little rattles and everything going. Oh no, she keeps on going. Oh, I thought it was over.
What an inspiration all of you are. Ask yourselves, please, why don't we have a national plan for Christian,
The voice is shaking and everything. Did you hear that? Here it goes. Shaky voice.
Why don't we have a national plan?
National plan. Why don't we have a national plan?
For Christian.
That was like way too easy for me to do.
For Ben and Sam, Camille, Kyle, Susie, Becky, Jasper, and every child with autism in America. Why is there no plan? It's as if the big picture folks in this country have turned off their satellites and Doppler radars. They don't want to know what's coming. Well,
actually, I've known a lot of people with 401ks, but that's because, like, I was making like $50,000 in the 90s as a correctional officer for the state. And so people were making pretty good money, so they were like putting money away, like just stuffing it, which was pretty wise at the time. I ended up having to spend mine for reasons.
We're here to turn them back.
I was fired from Department of Corrections for what reasons now I know. I was because of my autism, because I'm autistic. Of my autistic traits, but that's another story.
Back on. The crisis is upon us. So wake up, Washington.
The crisis is upon us.
We will not be ignored.
I used to be a correctional officer, and I used to talk like this all the time. And it would really freak out the inmates. I didn't know that I was autistic at the time and that I could do this. But the thing is they didn't know if I was happy, sad, mad, or whatever. And because they were talking to a robot, I kept them off guard. And so I didn't have any trouble at all. They were like, hey, I think he might be more crazy than we are.
Deserve a future. They deserve a shot at letting the world see them shine.
You know, after listening to you, I need a shot. I'm like...
They will not be forgotten because we will not be ignored. We send you, our elected officials, to this town to lead and to represent us. And we're here to tell you that time is now for autism to be the #1 on your to-do list. Let us together harness that strength of our daughter Katie, son-in-law Andreas, and all you mom and dads, and grandmas too, and granddads. Let us join them.
What about the autistic people? What about us?